You're listening to Gen X Gamers Podcast.
Hey, all, this is Kid Aquarius with the Gen X Gamer Podcast. I'm excited to welcome you to our episode 6 of season 3 of the Gen X Gamer Podcast. I am glad you're with me. Thank you for tuning in and listening and being a part of who we are. Oh, gosh, I feel guilty because I didn't have a chance to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. The episode I had planned on doing the weekend before Christmas fell through. Sorry. But, I'm coming strong. We have an episode, a quick episode I'm releasing today that's going to give you the Gen X Gamer news. And that's about it. I have some finishing touches on the year of 2020. And then we actually have a double podcast this week. This weekend, I will be recording a podcast with good old Nightshade and Wacko Jacko. We will be discussing some really cool stuff about game creation. So I really am excited about the upcoming podcast, but I wanted to give you a filler episode, filler not in the sense of, kind of like those horrible anime episodes that are filler episodes that take forever. And you're just like, okay, let's just get to the storyline. No, I mean, filler episode that is not a full size episode. I'm just going to give you some Gen X Gamer news. So that should be exciting. Okay. Sound good? Because this Gen X Gamer news is actually going to include the game of the year. This is the game of the year edition of the Gen X Gamer News. So if I ask you, what is the game of the year of 2020? What's your answer going to be? Obviously, you don't have access to all video games in the world, so your answer is a little subjective, but my answer is very objective. So you should be listening to me. Okay, I'm just kidding. Anyway, welcome to this week's episode. So, I know that when I go to the holidays, I have more time to play games with my family than I usually do, as well as, I have some game time where I'm not working. And so what did you play over the last couple of weeks? I'm interested. Let me tell you about the 2 games that I have been playing during this holiday season break. So the 2 games that I have been jumping into are, I need a drum roll sound effect. What sound effects do I have to do a drum roll? I think all I have is like a Mario power up. Okay, here we go. The games that I have been playing this week are, the board game is Isle of Cats. So this board game's an interesting one. I grabbed it as I was out doing my holiday shopping. I have this horrible sickness where when I go shopping for somebody and I see a game, I have to buy it for myself. And then I will buy games for others that I already own or that I'm not as interested in. That is a secret that I have that I just shared that I probably shouldn't have. Now, everybody who's received a game from me are thinking about that statement. Oops, maybe I should re-record this. Oh, well, cat's out of the bag. Speaking of cats, Isle of Cats is the game that I have been playing with my family. It's a board game where there's this island of cats. Yes, I know I'm constantly going back to my Japanese roots, but there's this island of cats that is doomed because some guy named Vesh Darkhand or something like that, he's going to come and destroy this island of cats, and you've got to rescue them. So you need fish, you need baskets, you have to lure the fish in or the cats in with the fish, and then you put them in baskets, and then you go and put them on your boat. And this is where the game is quite unique, because to put the cats on your boat, each cat is like this cat tile with this really weird, polygon shape. And you have to fit them in a certain way to maximize your space. It's kind of like Tetris, to be honest, competitive Tetris. So it's pretty cool. It's a different game. And, I think all ages will really like it. It's a game you definitely could play with your kids. Like when I say kids, I'm talking, pre-adolescent kids could play this game and have a good time. And then I think adults are really going to like it as well. So Isle of Cats, it's a pretty good game. I suggest it. The other game I've been playing, video game wise, I've actually broken away from my go-tos that I've been playing, Apex, Zelda, those games that I just flock to and spend and log lots of hours on. Well, I have actually been playing Destiny 2 quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. Really, really enjoyed it. You know, I played Destiny when the first one came out a lot. And then when Destiny 2 came out, I was just busy with some other things and I really didn't get into it. I bought the game, but I never really played it. Once again, mentioning my sickness and my addiction to gaming, buying things and then never playing them. I have like dozens of games I've never played that I own. But regardless, you know, they're sitting there. And someday I'm going to play those games. But anyway, I played Destiny 2 with some buddies, and I really, really liked it. It reminded me of what I loved about the first Destiny. It's very Halo-esque. I mean, you can tell it's a Bungie game from the graphics, the gameplay, the game style. And, you know, the good thing about Destiny 2, it's kind of a quirky MMO style game in the sense that you have this open world where lots of people come to. But there's lots of different servers. You're not necessarily all in the same place. But regardless, it's pretty cool that they have these different styles of gameplay that if you're somebody who loves campaigns, there's some campaign there. If you're someone who loves player versus environment, you want to join up with some buddies and take on these quests, there's that. If you are more PvP, there are some really cool game modes for PvP. I think Gambit is my favorite, but you know, there's just a lot there for you. It is a little confusing to get into as a brand new player. It can be intimidating. Like you'll be going, wait, what am I doing? Where am I going? What is this? And so it is a little overwhelming. You may want to watch some tutorial videos just to get started, but it is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's free to play, right? Like you don't have to buy the expansions. It's another free to play game. So jump on, check out some Destiny 2. It is worth it, in my opinion. Okay, guys, that's all the preview I have. Hey, I am interested though in what games you've been playing. Feel free to email us at genxgamers27@gmail.com. Tell me what game you have been playing. Maybe I'll do a podcast on it, right? Or jump into a game I never have before. You can also check out the website, genxgamers.us. There you will find links to the podcast, as well as, you know, this is the second podcast I've filmed and I'll put up on YouTube. I don't even care about it, like the YouTube aspect of it, but I have a couple buddies who say I should be filming this and putting it on YouTube. So I will because they told me I should. As you can tell, I haven't worked out the lighting. My face looks as red as when I was, 12 years old. My cheeks were inflamed with redness. Let's not go there. But anyway, so you can find those videos there. Also, we have a Gen X Gamer Facebook page. I think we're on Instagram, although I never really use it. Twitter, Gen X Gamers at Gen X Gamers 1, I think is the Twitter link. So all of those stuff you can find on the website though, and follow us there. So anyway, thank you for being here. It is time to move forward. I have a really awesome gaming news in a minute. And once the gaming news in a minute ends, please stick with me. I have some final thoughts on 2020 before we move forward to the new year. But without further ado, of course, it is, that special time of the week that you look forward to, just as I do.
It's time for gaming news in a minute. Here we go.
If you've listened to any of my podcasts, you've heard me go off about Zelda Breath of the Wild several times. In fact, I have a whole entire podcast dedicated to its awesomeness. Thank you, Norman. Well, the most powerful weapon in the game, the Bow of Light. It has infinite ammo and an attack rating of 100. This weapon is only unlocked and playable during the final boss battle, and then it disappears forever. You just get this little taste, this little, savory morsel for just a moment, and then it's gone. Hey, thank you for that. Well, a gamer has developed a workaround, a hack, a trick, if you will, where you can trick your machine into giving it to you for future playthroughs from the outset of the game. You can find the hack online, and it's a little complicated, but think then, after you've played the game in its entirety and you've unlocked this bow for a brief moment, you could then unlock it for all of the future times that you go and play Zelda Breath of the Wild. Wait. I have to think about this. So you can unlock the strongest weapon in the game in the last battle, then do a hack so that you can have it for the next playthrough. This is Zelda Breath of the Wild we're talking about here. I mean, I think I logged like 200 hours playing this game, more than one playthrough, maybe in 10 years. Maybe the hack isn't as useful as I thought it would be. Hey, one more news item on Zelda, by the way. If you are looking for any post-Christmas presents, something to spend your gift card on, perhaps someone was unlucky enough to be born within a month of Christmas. Either way, I've got a present for you. The legendary box set of Zelda manga is available for $78. Beautiful art, cool manga, and do you know what? You'll look cool to your teenage 13-year-old daughter, if nothing else. So go for it. I also have a go-to board game for anyone who wants to learn a new one. And they asked me to come teach them to play. This is the game I always go to. I believe I've even mentioned it. It's called Wingspan. And in this game, you gather your own aviary of birds from all different habitats to develop a strong showing of feathered friend. It's very cool. Well, my friends, it's now coming to the Nintendo eShop, available to play as a video game. I don't know what to think. I'm the type that likes my board games to be board games and my video games to be video games. I can't imagine Wingspan as a video game. I don't want to play the Doom, the board game, and I don't want to play Stratego, the video game. Can't we just have these things separate? It doesn't make sense to me, but there you go. Hey, I do have 3 games though that I want to share for this gaming news in a minute. For all of my Fallout friends out there, new expansion coming on January 15th to PC users. Fallout Frontier, not the last frontier. So we've put that question to rest. Apparently Star Trek took place after the Fallout series, but still new content is new content. Also, my Stardew Valley Amigos, a whole new expansion is out. I mean, it's not a new expansion that you have to go and buy, so it's more of an update, but this thing is like loaded with new content. So for those loyalists out there who adore Stardew Valley, the update is 1.4, although I think there's a 1.5 now, but this update has new monsters, emotes, hairdos, bigger sheds, mines, anything you've ever wanted in such a weird little game that Brandon introduced me to, and that, quite frankly, one day I want to finish. And for those really geeky city builders out there, you know who I'm talking about, the ones that are closet gamers. They don't really play video games in their minds, but they have their city builder that they spend hours on. It's not a video game. It's a simulator, right? That's not video games. Well, there's a new city builder out there for you, deniers. And it's a la Castle in the Sky from Studio Ghibli, where your cities are floating on giant ships in the air, and your only enemy in the game is gravity. Pretty good ratings, really interesting. Haven't played it, but give it a go if it's your D20. Airborne Kingdom is the name. And now, of course, it's that incredibly important time of gaming news in a minute, where I need to wrap up 2020 by talking about what the game of the year is for 2020. Now, listen, it should be no surprise what the nominees are, right? The same blockbuster hits were in the running for Game of the Year long before they ever hit players' fingertips. We're talking Spider-Man, Cyberpunk 2077, Last of Us 2, right? The new Assassin's Creed Valhalla, all of those are in the running for Game of the Year. And if you go to IGN, if you go to GameStop or Gaming News, if you go to any of those, whatever yours is, PC Gamer, whatever it is out there that you were into, they usually do an end of the year edition of Gaming News or Gaming Awards, right? Well, what is the winner? Which one of all of those will take the cake? It may be a surprise, but the winner, hands down, if you go and survey all of the websites that are putting these out, the most common victor for the year 2020 is Hades. What a fitting winner. The Lord of Hell, the God of the underworld, is the winner for the year of 2020. So fitting. So fitting. This game is actually only on the Switch when it comes to consoles. It is on Windows and it is on a Mac. Yes, that's right. Mac users can actually play the Game of the Year on their crappy machines. But regardless, the Game of the Year is this little game called Hades, and I've never played it. I haven't looked at I haven't even looked at gameplay, but I am really interested to check out how this game beat out all of these other multi-million-dollar projects to beat them all out and be Game of the Year. And well, what can I say? That's my gaming news in a minute. We'll be back in just a moment with some closing thoughts for 2020. Okay, guys, the year 2020 has come and gone. There are some horrible things that came with this year, and I know that we've all been through the ringer. I'm not going to try to even classify it. But I will say 2020 isn't all bad. I mean, the year 2020, there are some synonyms. There are some aliases for the year 2020. Edgar Ross, the Elusive Man, Bowser, Ganon, GLaDOS, Tom Nook, the Flood. Heck, the year 2020 is even that dog from Duck Hunt who would jump up out of the reeds and just laugh at you. Oh, the year 2020, the ultimate enemy. The world hates you. You symbolize the most evil of all villains. Those that look like the good guy, only to find out how evil they truly are. I mean, we were all looking forward to the year of double 20s. It seemed like a milestone of sorts. I don't know why. The number just, it had a ring to it that, got you all excited. It's like, the year 2020. This is going to be the year that changes everything. Yeah. And then, of course, 2020 hit. Well, I do have to say that the Gen X Gamer podcast would not exist if year 2020 didn't happen, because it was when I was at a low point amidst the COVID and feeling quite isolated from the world that I finally decided it was time to jump up and do something about something I had wanted to do for a long time, and that was make a gaming podcast. So at the very least, I would like to thank 2020 and all of its horribleness for, leading me down a path where I was able to jump out and do something a little different, something I had never planned on doing before. So thank you, 2020, for that. And gosh, that's about it. But here's to year 2021. There's a lot in store, and I'm excited for it. Thank you for being with us at the Gen X Gamer Podcast, for supporting me and my colleagues, my friends, my gaming friends, my family that jumps on with me as well. I appreciate it. It makes me feel good, and hopefully for those of you who listen, you enjoy. So thank you for tuning in, and next week we'll have another one out. And this is the Gen X Gamer Podcast signing out for the year 2020. Have a good one.